Faraz Shaukutali.
And a wonderful morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. A touch wet this morning in Colombo, but we are all set to go and to discuss how illegal acts on the part of the government impinges on democracy. And under the guise of good governance and democracy, people are being paid high salaries and are doing exactly what they like with the people's assets. To discuss this and a little bit more is that absolutely wonderful diplomat and legal eagle, Mr. Hemantha Wanakulasuriya. Mr. Wanakulasuriya, thank you for coming on Newsline.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be with you, Farah.
Thank you very much. You're very well color coordinated this morning. Very good indeed. Now
Thank
then,
you. But that my wife.
why can't we coordinate the efforts of good governance? Why is it? What is wrong, after all, why is there so much of confusion and concern and consternation that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the new Minister of Foreign Affairs, has asked and received for the subjects of the National Lotteries Board and the Development Lotteries Board?
Yeah.
Now they say that it's illegal.
I believe for us, if there one single person who was interested, who is now even interested in having a good government, is no less a person than Maitripala Sirinayaka. Sorry. And I'm very sorry for the mistake. And there were several meetings wherein number of his own cabinet colleagues said that if the government has to proceed, they must reshuffle the cabinet. And that was postponed several times. And then one of the key ministries they want to change was the Minister of Finance. And what happened? Everyone in the UNP, most members in the UNP, the hierarchical people, the hierarchy that controls the UNP was totally against this. I don't know what reason.
Was it a loss of face?
And then the minister himself said, if I'm not given this portfolio, I will go and sit at the back bencher. So he was able to extort, he was able to put pressure on the UNP leadership. Now my question for us, is he such a public figure like Gamli Snayaka or Lalita Tulat Mudali or Anasingha Premadasa? Has he got so much support in the country? No. Then why the government so frightened of why the UNP wants him there at the Minister of Finance? No one could answer. Then afterwards, after several postponements, they said after the floods, they said after the drought, they said after the president visits Japan and various things, and nothing happened. And ultimately, when this happened, there was a deal, I believe, for him to give Lotteries Board and the other subject that you mentioned.
So now, this was like an inducement?
Absolutely, like and I do not know why. Now I'm asking you, Faraz, if during the time of Jia, such a colossal figure, would anyone ask him that he will not, if he cannot be reshuffled, he can be removed. If he removes, right, he will go and resign and sit in the back bench. He would have said, kindly go ahead, resign and go away. I can appoint someone. Not only Jia, even Premadas, even Chandrika Bandarana Kumaratunga would have resisted this kind of pressure coming from the cabinet. But unfortunately, Mr. Maitripala Sirisena, the present president of this government, and is unable to do so because of the coalition and because of the support they got. Now, it's very strange how they demanded the Lotteries Board and he got it by gazette. Now who negotiated? Maybe the Prime Minister, maybe the others who knows about the law. It's very clear that under the Finance Act and the Lotteries Board Act, this is subject matter of the Minister of Finance. It cannot come under any other ministry. Every action they do may be questioned and maybe find ultra vires the constitution, maybe null and void. Now, with all that, they have gazetted. Now, I see that there are some NGOs, writing letters to the president, criticizing this appointment. But what they should do is to immediately go to court, file action, and take away, and then the court to intervene and see that this is re-gazetted, or the act must be the Finance Act or Lottery Book.
So, but that's an even worse predicament.
Absolutely
because
true.
How can one man, because he fancies having the Lotteries Board and so on, and the Development Lotteries Board, how can that one man change the laws of this country to suit him?
True. I mean, the way that he changes laws, not only in this instance, even as an ordinary member of Parliament, thereafter as the Minister of Finance, there was this famous case filed against him, and that was the one prosecution that the Rajapaksa government got involved without trying to, which was not a witch hunt. There was so much of evidence collected by the CID. They filed indictment, and the case was going on. And the day before the budget was presented, I'm appalled and amazed to see that Dileepa Piris, a senior state counsel, who was doing this case, who was excellent prosecutor, was warned by the department, and they sent a senior officer to supervise him, to see whether Dileepa Piris will go beyond his limits of, he do a prosecution. And what happened on that day? On a technical objection that all was arranged, technical objection was to be raised, and the High Court judge accepted that and discharged him, giving them notice, giving them time to file a fresh indictment.
And
what happened? Up to now, no indictment has
been filed.
Is there a
time period?
Yes, they gave 1 year. So my position is...
So when the 1 year is up, what will happen then?
1 year was long ago. One year was long ago. That now this government is almost 1.5 years now. So what happened? Nothing happened. There was no one
My
in
point
the
is,
good governance. No one in the Puravasi Balaya and all other NGOs which are trying to destabilize this country, and papers like Rave and other papers were trying to force good governance on the basis of their agenda, never went to court and never told the court, never got direction from the court to file fresh indictment. He was not discharged.
Can they now not file?
No, I do not know. That's a debatable question. So this is the power Mr. Ravi Karunanayake wields. So I believe...
You mean the power to extort?
Maybe. I do not know. I'm asking you.
You use the word extort.
It's absolute no. He says, if I'm not given the same ministry, if I am removed, I'll go and sit in as a backbencher. So isn't that extortion? And what happens? The government, heed to his request, though on the face of it, he is transferred from one ministry to another ministry. He is effectively in control of various lotteries board and the development lottery. Now, this is hilarious. I mean, this should never happen. And unfortunately, Mr. Maitripala Sirisena is unable to act on his own conscience and dictate. I'm sure if he had the chance, this country would be run very much better under him. That is what I feel, because he has a conscience, and he's the one person against whom there are no allegations, and he's a man who has tried to enforce some discipline. There are no abductions. There are no assault on journalists. There are no people crying on the road saying that my husband has been abducted. So that's a great merit on the part of the president of this country.
That may well be so, but there is a significant assault on the finances and the rights of the people of this country.
Now, done by the UNP government. Now, what are the alternatives left? Either to appoint another prime minister and have a minority government, and ultimately government will get dissolved because the government will not have substantial. I mean, they don't have the number of votes in the parliament. Now, I'm asking. Everyone has been saying how lily white Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe is. Why is he not taking action and putting his ministers in their place? So I believe not only the Lotteries Board, I believe in a way even the central bank must go back to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, so that the mastermind bond scam can go on. I mean, where on earth have you come across a minister who issues a letter, undated letter, whom it may concern, is addressed to whom it may concern, and then gives a letter, gives a letter saying, give the designation of certain two ministers when they were not ministers, when they have not been appointed. So he foresees the future. The only person other than this charlatans and soothsayers, only person who foresaw the future was Mr. Ravi Karunanayake.
But isn't this not only an assault on the finances of the nation, but isn't this an assault on the intelligence of the people of the country?
They don't consider people are intelligent. They think the people are fools. They believe that any lie could be uttered. Before the elections, you can reduce some important items and they can get back the vote.
I want to ask you this, Mr.
So we are all responsible for our. Don't blame the government. We have elected them. We have elected a set of rogues. What can anybody do?
I want to ask you this. It's not all the fault of the people, because it's the party leadership. They nominate one set of people, and we are meant to choose from one of them. Or we can just stay at home in our do-nothing seat and sit there and do nothing. Or we can elect somebody and then force and coerce and absolutely shame them into action. But I want to ask you this. Isn't this government of Mr. Wickremesinghe, led by Mr. Wickremesinghe, all about hypocrisy? We have got the right to information. Guess what? I don't know if you asked anything.
No, I have not.
Well, I have. All I get is sweet words from the Elections Commission and a letter that says, we've acknowledged, the acknowledgement comes inside the 2-week period. And thereafter, nothing. One of our journalists wrote to the Ministry of Finance asking for a rather detailed information as to where the advertising revenue went. There's no answer to that either, but he got an acknowledgement. I have written to the central bank asking for some information. I got an acknowledgement. I haven't got any information. This is not just me or my journalists or whoever it is. It is everybody is experiencing the same blessed problem. Hypocrisy. What about this chap, Mangalayapa? He is the managing director designate of some outfit that is apparently in the mind of the Prime Minister. Then we have this chap, Mukundan. We'd like to know all their salary details and on what basis. We'd like to know that. Would you like to know that?
Yeah, why not? Mukundan is my friend. I like to know that. I've had a case wherein I appeared against Mukundan, and the Supreme Court, Sarath Villa, gave the judgment in favor of Mukundan, because Mukundan then agreed to set up that Buddhist channel. I mean, so what I'm trying to say, the laws are there, laws are passed. Then the committee and the people who sit there decides how to overcome.
How to circumvent
the position. So now they are bound by law to send you a reply within 2 weeks. But they send an acknowledgement.
But this is all hypocrisy.
So it's absolute hypocrisy, because even those people who are appointed to those positions are people who are unable, who are not willing to stand firm against the decision of this government. That is why I say we don't have a force. We don't have only a force that we could move in order to get our rights vindicated. Only place we have is the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, and I believe we have a lot of faith in them. But every other institution is controlled, and as you say, the very word you use, they use their position to circumvent the very spirit of the law, very spirit of the law. So therefore, you have asked for the authorities of Mukundan and some other person, no information is given. And then the Prime Minister appoints them, Prime Minister takes them everywhere. And then there is now, there are certain projects which are to be given to him. So, I mean, and we do not know officially, unofficially we might know how much is being paid. Officially, there is no way of knowing this.
And you know, we'd like to find out what precisely is the role of Arjuna Mahendran in this country today.
Absolutely true. Not only you, for us, but again thank the Sunday Times and you for having brought this matter, and it had become such an important issue, and the President had to appoint a commission. And I'm also publicly thank the Assistant Solicitor General, Mr. Dappul Livera, who is the second in command, and who is doing an excellent job in the commission, and he cannot be influenced by anyone, and the commissioners also are the same.
But
so I believe Arjuna Mahendran's position in this country, no one knows, and you know, whether he's a public figure or a private figure, whether he gets a salary from the government or whether he gets a salary from a private source, we do not know.
But we do know one thing,
yeah.
And we have Kirti Thenakun and his outfit organization to be thankful for. They highlighted various records,
yeah.
from attendance sheets,
yeah.
But even though Mr. Mahendran doesn't seem to have any official role, because we have a letter from the Minister of Finance, Ministry of Finance, to say that he's not employed in any shape or form by them, by the ministry. Nevertheless, rather like a little lost lamb, he's appeared in various committee rooms when matters of state business has been discussed. So what is he doing? Even the cleaning operatives who maintain the treasury buildings and all sorts of things, even they have got a permit to be there. They've got a pass to be there. So how can you or anybody else without such permission be entering these places? On what basis?
Well,
the Prime Minister has been significantly
one of the most powerful
silent.
people in this country. I mean, who agreed to circumvent all the laws and permit his son-in-law to make all the money? Then at that time, if there was a clean government in this country, government with conscience, would have arrested him and produced him in court and remanded him for public property. Now,
notwithstanding the fact that
Vimal Viramasa was remanded for nearly 6 months. This man, no one touches him.
But Vimal isn't a friend of the Prime Minister, is he?
No, but whether he's a friend or not, he was remanded. So, I mean, quite correctly, the magistrate remanded him.
Yes, but
what I'm trying to say that, so the same law must apply. Isn't there a prima facie case against Arjuna Mahendran? Have any institution investigated? Have the Attorney General found very incriminating evidence against him? And have the dossier that are sent to the Attorney General, have they given opinion that they must file action against both of them for recovery of the losses caused? But nothing happened. So this is I mean, like the other regimes, like the previous regimes, I mean, you have to protect, because you are not protecting Arjuna Mahendran. You are protecting those people who are behind this whole scam, you know, bond scam.
So you're saying that Arjuna Mahendran is, in effect, nothing but a sacrificial lamb.
No, he was not sacrifice. He also got benefited. He and his son-in-law. But ultimately there were people who permitted him to use his prerogative.
Who could this be?
Yeah.
Who could it be? Could it be the Prime Minister? Because after
no, I don't know. I cannot say because I have no evidence.
No.
But that is why I say that there must be an investigation.
But the Prime Minister
I believed when Mr. Maitripala, the President appointed the Presidential Commission, I thought it was a special Presidential Commission with punitive powers.
Yes, but it's not.
Punish them. It's not. It's not. Like what Chandrika Bandaranaike Kumarthunga appointed.
Yeah.
So my position is,
yeah,
we cannot say who is behind. But now, if there was an underworld thug who cannot be arrested, and if they say that he's not being arrested because the politician is protecting him, now the whole world knows it. But the police are not going to arrest the politician. Police are going to arrest the underworld thug. So similarly, there must be proper investigation to find out why Arjuna Mahendran took this awesome, huge risk in manipulating the bonds to make all the money, and was it only divided between himself and his son-in-law, or was it that there was some other unforeseen people?
But there were other players as well.
And then the letter written by Ravi Karnal, the Honorable Minister of Finance, who writes the letter, suddenly is produced in the commission, undated letter, supposed to have been given on a certain date, but then those ministers are not even existed. So, I mean, this whole thing, I mean, that was sufficient. That letter was sufficient in any other country for the people to call for the resignation of the Minister of Finance. But did that happen? No. He is sitting pretty and demanding, you give me the notary's board, you give me this, you give me that. Otherwise, I'm going to do what? We don't know what. Maybe he will say, I'm going to expose the whole corrupt lot.
Now, to ask you this. This might be controversial, but it's a question worth asking. If you were retained by if there was an attempt by Mr. Mahendran and or his family, extended family, son-in-law, extended family, blah, 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 if any of them wanted you to represent them, would you take on the case?
No, I believe that's a question of ethics for us.
Ethics?
We are bound by Supreme Court rules, and we are expected to appear for any person. Even Prabhakar retained me, we expect to appear for him unless there is a person conflict of interest. So only thing that would refrain me from doing so is that my conscience says that these people, I mean, on the face of it, these people may have had some hand in exploiting the resources of this country, people's money, EPF money.
And therefore I should
not appear. You know? So that may, but you know, but you can't apply that to any other lawyer because they are free to appear. And the important thing is the law, the accused or the suspect must have a lawyer defend them. I will tell you a very good example. When Iranachi was killed, there was a resolution passed by the Bar Association that no lawyer should appear for the killers. Then what happened? No, that was a very foolish resolution. I was responsible for that. Foolish resolution. And the whole...
You were responsible for foolish resolution?
Yeah, I must say that. By hindsight, I should say it's a foolish... But what happened for us? No one appeared for him. And ultimately the trial had to be postponed. They would say, I want a defense counsel. And no one, the court, Mr. Jannaika, the High Court judge...
one of our viewers, sorry to butt in there, but one of our viewers says Ranil Wickremesinghe has not implemented any financial budgets from the day this government was appointed. Isn't that a sad dereliction of duty? Can't we have him sacked on that basis? Can't we go to the Supreme Court?
I believe we cannot go to the Supreme Court.
Why?
Sack a Prime Minister. that is Prime
But he hasn't implemented anything.
No, what we believe is that those lawyers who run to the Supreme Court like Saranamuthu CPA should go and then file writ cases against this commission and demand them to give you a reply.
Mr. Wanakrishna, what I'm trying to say is, Ranil Wickremesinghe is the head of the government, all right? And he's got his finance minister at the time, Ravi Karunayaka. Not one of those financial budgets have been implemented. Yeah. Instead, this finance minister has been giving a writing off duties and cess and levies on various high-powered high-value vehicles. He's been giving people concessions for investment in the East, and lo and behold, some of them is connected in some shape or form to the bond, right? To the bond company, shall we say, in large terms, right? And our legal department's probably getting cold feet at the moment while we're saying all this, but it's a fact. So what I'm saying is, the Prime Minister is in charge, has selected his Minister of Finance, and the Minister of Finance is not delivering.
Before all that, Faraz, do you think a Prime Minister should appoint a person against whom an indictment is pending, trial is pending in the High Court? I mean, as a criminal, he be charged in the High Court for a huge financial transaction, and he is then accused. So can you, if you are a man with conscience, what is the difference between, appoint that person as a finance minister, what is the difference between that and releasing the famous criminal who had raped a girl who was very fond of the Prime Minister as a minister? He was discharged after he was convicted.
I want to ask you this.
So what is the difference between that? The Prime Minister should have told Ravi Karunayaka, I'm sorry, finish this case and come, I'll make you, I mean, he should have not been given nominations.
But
even if you give nominations.
You know, you come here at some sort of risk, I suppose, professional and personal risk. You come here and say what you say, and say it openly. What about NGOs who have been campaigning and screaming and shouting their heads off for better governance?
They are the worst scoundrels on earth. They are the worst scoundrels on earth. You know, they are people who take money and try to destabilize this country, and then.
What about the Centre for Policy Alternatives?
Yeah, why is he only shouting on certain matters? When Khanna was appointed, they were supportive of that. Then on many matters which they feel they could destabilize this country, they come forward. This is what happened. Now here, not only all the NGOs, they're the worst scoundrels. They are people who have been hired by other governments to destabilize this country.
You in school with Ranil Wickremesinghe?
You're junior to me.
He's junior to you. You're not frightened then to come out and speak openly like this?
Why should I be frightened?
I don't know, because some people have gotten plasters across their mouths.
No, I speak the truth. I have never said anything which is wrong. Now you ask me whether the Prime Minister could be sacked. I said that is not my job to answer. That is a matter for the President. How can I sack the Prime Minister?
No, my question to you is whether the people can't bring an action in the Supreme Court for non-delivery.
No, but you can't bring an action if no notice will be given, against the Prime Minister, because this is the political culture of this country. Political culture is so debased, so debauched, that they are for their own upliftment of their party and their persons, but not to deliver.
So what you're saying is, we are living in this culture. We get all worked up, not very good for our sugar levels and our pressure levels and so on.
No, I mean, when you asked me to come for this interview, I believe if this government want to survive, let the President re-gazette and give the central bank
also the Minister of Health. So that the same thing can go on. The reshuffling of the ministries had not proved.
You are obviously so upset that you can't even get the words out. But Hemantawana Kulasurya, thank you very much for your commitment to good governance and better governance, and thank you very much for your presence on the program. We do appreciate your presence here. And I would like to offer you this, because you obviously need that. And in that, on that note, that's it from Newsline on Wednesday, the 21st of June, 2017. Take care. God bless.